Roses are red, violets are blue. Frieza's back. What the fuck, dude? I got that So I'm pretty sure by now everyone who's part of the Dragon Ball community now knows that the Emperor himself, Frieza, is coming back to Dragon Ball Super. What an exciting new concept that we have never seen before. Truly, this is the mark of a new Dragon Ball age. No, but seriously, putting sarcastic comments aside, I'm sure it's no longer a spoiler if you're part of the Dragon Ball community. However, I'll still put a disclaimer that there will be spoilers in this video as I'm going to discuss key plot points of Frieza's return. So if you don't want that info to be spoiled, then I suggest you click off, because I'm going to discuss whether this is a good thing or a bad thing for Super. So according to Dragon Ball Super episode 93 summary, Goku will ask fortune teller Baba to resurrect once again, Frieza for 24 hours so he can help fight with Team Universe 7, which is basically a similar thing to when Goku came back in the Buu Saga, except his body could not sustain Super Saiyan 3 for that long. So I have no idea how Golden Frieza will, but I suppose Dragon Ball Super will completely ignore that stipulation. But regardless of that, do you know what my initial reaction to this news was? It was along the lines of this. Now I can be open-minded and say this is great news as it opens endless possibilities for character interaction, plot, and character development. However, that all goes out the window when the reason of Frieza's recruitment lies on the fact of Majin Buu being asleep again. Like guys, this is the third time they use this, which oddly enough is the third time they bring back Frieza, and I can hardly forgive this decision because they actually dedicated time to develop Buu as a fighter. Like, who does that? And the reason is so uncreative, and I know some people are going to say, well, why not throw him in the Room of Spirits in time for a few hours, or have Whis wake him up somehow? And to that I say it's bullshit, because Dragon Ball Super is not real life, it's a fictional story. The writers shouldn't have made him asleep in the first place, and you don't have to come up with solutions for bad writing. And by the way, I mentioned Frieza came back 3 times in Super, and you might wonder, when was the second? This motherfucker here is a Frieza copy-paste. Aside from his uninteresting personality, Frost identifies as the Frieza of Universe 6. Like, you cannot convince me otherwise. He is Frieza. But that is only a fraction of why the community thinks the return of Frieza is bad, because aside from how strong he is and what a valuable asset he could be, the character of Frieza is completely overused. Like, give the guy a break. His character is completely ruined by this point, and he's being devalued as a result of it. We have seen enough of this guy, and although I can see some potential of redeeming himself as a character, I really have my doubts about it, as Dragon Ball Super tends to drop the ball with these key moments. However, there is one thing that comes from Frieza's return, I suppose, and that it makes the Resurrection of F arc a not completely useless arc, and that it sets up for Frieza for a future event. And I say this because not long ago, someone asked me how to watch Dragon Ball Super, and I told them that they don't need to watch the Resurrection of F arc because of how pointless it is, and how it offers almost nothing. But now I may retract this statement as Frieza carries on this arc, which is positive, I guess, in my opinion. But despite this positive, there is something no one else is talking about, and that's what makes me doubt this decision the most. And it is why Toei Animation would never use Cell or Buu for this arc, and they would only use Frieza. Can you guess why? It's because Frieza is a very marketable character. Unlike the others. Just think about it. Frieza is widely known as an anime villain. His reputation as a villain reigns supreme that they dedicated an entire movie just for him years after he's dead. Even though the movie made almost no sense and his power-up was nothing short of an asshole, they still went with it because Frieza brings in that cash. He's the cheap whore of the Dragon Ball franchise. They bring him constantly, sometimes for no reason at all. And I'm afraid this might be another case. Is Frieza beyond the scope of redemption? I personally don't know. Will Frieza kidnap Goten and train him and likes him in the process and then ends up sacrificing himself to save him? I hope not. All I know is Majin Buu shouldn't have been shafted in favor of this. I reserve my future judgment when we see more of this. So for now, how about you tell me what you think? Do you want Frieza back? Do you agree with what I said, or do you disagree? Tell me in the comments down below. But all in all, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like the video, comment, and subscribe. Peace.